Okay, so today I had a few things I wanted to talk about. One of the things was yesterday in that episode, he was talking about how, us as humans down here in this third dimensional plane, and how all of the spirits, like I'm always talking about, we've got people or beings or whatever you want to see them as, spirits, whatever, aliens, ghosts, monsters, everybody's got their own idea. But all of these beings that are around us all the time, and other beings don't use food like we think that we need food for our energy. And the more that I have been pulling back from the whole paradigm, the more I've seen, like, you don't know, and energy begets energy. I really think there's something like, you get up and you start doing a lot of stuff, you're going to build energy. You're not going to feel, I think a lot of times when we feel like we need to eat, it's sluggish, or maybe it's a reaction to something we already ate that's triggered something in us that we need to eat. Plus we have it in our heads that we need to eat. But that is how we, as three-dimensional beings, see that we need to get our energy from, take it from something else that is growing, that has energy. We'll take that energy. And that's the whole idea of killing animals, which they don't do on other planets because they respect all life forms, because all life forms are consciousness, and all consciousness is having an experience, no matter if you understand the experience or not. So if, you don't, oh my gosh, she has been making so much noise. So if you don't eat to pull in your energy, then you have to figure out how else to get your energy. And I've seen these things about these brethrens or something like that. And some of them haven't eaten in years, like a long ass time. And they use like the sun and breathing and movement and stuff like that to get their energy. And it just makes sense to me. And so outside of here, where other beings are, they don't need food. And a lot of them don't even live on planets where they ever eat anything. They're just, it's a different kind of avatar, different kind of experience. But everything needs energy. Everything needs to be powered, right? So even though they don't eat food to absorb that energy, they absorb energy from other ways. And say like, going out in nature and walking, your soul is receiving energy. Your spirit is, getting turned on and becoming alive and energetically charged. So, they have different ways of doing it, but there's the beings who live off of just staying around us and living off of our emotional, energetic output. Because remember, in the spiritual stuff, it's all about getting your emotions in check and, staying balanced, staying well, staying mentally well and in balance and all of that. So the beings who are down here, around here, can feed off of that kind of stuff. And a lot of the traumas and stuff like that that we're presented with is for emotional charge, because the whole thing with their rituals and stuff, it's feeding something else. And they're willing to do it because they want the technology and stuff that is offered to them. And who knows what they've got themselves into at this point. I mean, this has been going on so long that, who knows what, I mean, when you're selling your same species, but I mean, we've seen it happen over and over. I mean, it was other human beings selling human beings to other human beings in the slave trade. So for there to be beings that are doing that presently all over and selling us to other beings in other galaxies and shit. It's like a competition of noise. So, we shouldn't really be surprised that, it seems to be something that consciousness, has to learn about connection and unity. You don't sell your same, there's got to be more about unity and a lot of growing and learning Like I still, my daughter is here. She was saying, you know, that she had tried to watch Dexter again, and she's like, I just couldn't. There was like some different things. I said, I can't watch that stuff anymore. Like any of these things that like sensationalize, like just perversion or death and all that stuff, and they just sensationalize just to warp our society. And what they have now, you know, where they have people so disconnected from one another that someone can watch somebody being hurt and they'd rather videotape it than help them. I'm just like, you know, there's a lot of people who have a lot to learn. A lot to learn. So yeah, that is I just can't even imagine like watching someone getting hurt and then to just video it. Like I'm way more of somebody who will go over, like I've gone up to people in fights or people being attacked or something. I've walked up and tried to stop it. So yeah, I don't understand this disconnect from people. How people just don't give a shit about people anymore. It's really sad. But it's all been part of the programming. You know, they have to keep us all divided and stuff. They can't manage us. But it's up to us to recognize that and recognize the importance of us to come together and be united. And to also recognize that when you are upset and you're out of control and you're anger or raging or sad and depressed, all of the emotional extreme that you're emitting so much energy, and that's why the torture and stuff is so big. And you just think about how sickening that is, really. If you get the vision of like the room that is of a color, that you put the color before the other thing, which I'm sure that word would get taken down. But if you put the color red and then you talk about it with the other thing and you look up what that is and you find out it's like Hostel. Hostel was a documentary. So it was like in Hostel in there. So while they're doing that stuff, and then you got the people watching, paying for each thing to be done, that's disgusting. Especially when you think about a lot of this is going on with, I can't even fucking stand it. Yeah, little kids. It's fucked. It's so fucked. Can't fucking stand it. Get my shit together. Hold on. But when you think about how sick that is, and then the other inner spirit, you know, the beings that are all around who siphon that energy of trauma and torture and stuff, is we need to change this place. Everything needs to change here, because it's why people are so unhappy. It's why people are so disconnected. It's why people are so empty, and there's so much trauma and stuff, you know. It's us who have to change it. We're the ones who have to change things. It's not going to just, the people who are sitting here waiting, oh, we just got to wait. Jesus is coming and Jesus is going to come down and fix it for us. It's like, what? So you think just like, okay, we're going to make a big old mess and we're going to wait for, you know, Uncle Jesus to come down and clean it up and save our souls. No, we have to save our souls. We have to do the work. That's what Jesus talked about. He talked about the work. He talked about how to do the work, how to get enlightened, how to bring yourself up in a higher state of consciousness. So, you know, sitting around waiting for someone to come do your work for you makes no sense. Sitting around waiting for somebody to come in and fix the world for you makes no sense. It's like you have to have an inner guidance, a direction to know what's right and what's wrong. And then you've got to start working towards it. We have to be the change that we desire. It's up to us. It's up to us to model the behavior that we want in our lives. So, you know, we just have to take our role in this existence as being a lot more valuable and a lot more important. But it is also, don't get caught up in the bullshit, because it doesn't fucking matter. So that's what I mean. Very complicated. And that's why it takes so much about getting yourself in balance and getting the understanding, because you can't really explain the understanding to someone. You have to find it inside yourself. And you know, it is so much about going out and finding the information you seek. And you know, just echoes and echoes in my head about these people who think like they can demand you to go find the information they need so that they can figure out life. It's like, no, that's up to you to go figure out life for yourself. Nobody can convince you of what life is. That's their own perception, their own perspective of life. Everybody's got to find their own. I can just share, you know, my different sources and resources because I know there's a lot of people who are like me who know that the stuff with the aliens is a huge thing they're hiding from us, and it has to do with all of our existence and what we're doing here. And you know, and I know, I mean, it's coming to the surface as far as I'm concerned, but I've known for a long time that we are a science experiment. People are just now figuring it out, but I've known it for a long time. And you know, in the medical community damaged me. You know, the people who are supposed to save you damaged me, and then, you know, oh, no, we don't know her. Nope. You know, just go and, you know, turn their backs. No doctors will go and help you because then they have to go against the other doctors. A big boy or whatever, a boys club kind of situation in the medical of different communities. It's all bullshit. And I mean, just when you get to the whole thing of figuring out about the Rockefellers and what they did for medicine and how they got rid of all of the natural remedies and stuff so that they could market big pharma so they could make money off of us. I mean, it's just as in the institutions and where they teach and how they get, like right now, why all the doctors are in these big conglomerates. Remember doctors a long time ago when somebody became a doctor, they would, you know, go around to your house. They really cared. They'd go and take care of you. You know, you'd have your baby in your house and the doctor would come to you. And then it starts changing into this whole other thing, and people worshiping doctors and doctors not giving a shit about our time. We could sit there for 3 hours and they'll for 10 minutes of their fucking precious time. And then it started becoming where it was all this weird insurance stuff with how to pay for them, and suddenly doctor's appointments went from $10 to $40, and it was then they had where all the doctors now work for practices that are through the hospitals, that are go through the administrators, that it's all the same thing. It's all, so of course they're going to do and say what they're told. But it has everything to do with their license. Most of them are paying $150,000, $200,000 in school debt. So yeah, they want to keep their license. So they'll bend over backwards and do what the administrators tell them. And right now we see what they're doing. They're killing people. They're following these, what do you call them? I know I've said it before. Because we had them on all of the things, like in the ER. If somebody came in with a heart thing, you had a whole thing you had to follow. If somebody came in with a stroke, you had a whole thing you had to follow. Somebody comes in with they got a whole thing they're going to follow. They don't go with the person and figure out, like, what's their symptom. Nope, we're just going to follow this, and it's going to kill them, because that's what they're doing. Because they're not working with symptoms. There's been, like, I don't even know, hundreds and hundreds of doctors and nurses coming out and saying they're not treating the symptoms. They're not doing anything for the actual patient and what they have. They're following a protocol. That's what it is, the protocol. They're not, you can't follow a protocol vague like that. And, you know, there were certain things that would have to be like when you were following the protocol for a stroke or a heart attack and stuff. But yeah, what they're doing, and they're purposely killing people. It's really sad. But, you know, I was lucky to get out of the hospital alive. And this is what it takes to wake up a lot of people to the criminal aspect of what we trust our health with. We trust our health to people who are not caring one bit about our health. We are an experiment. They're testing on us all the time, testing chemicals. Like the amount of chemicals I have in my body at 60 years old. I mean, it's no wonder that my freaking joints hurt. It feels like electrical current is running through my body. Like, there's no telling what I saw a person yesterday, I think it was, and I've seen these before, but sometimes things impact you more than on other days. And this one was a fluoride one. And just, you know, how the fluoride is it's a toxin, and you're not, and it's in weed killer or something, and you're not supposed to ingest it. And they're telling us like, oh yeah, put it on your teeth for a half hour, your teeth will be great. It's like, yeah, just sit there with that poison on your teeth and absorb as much as you can, and then we'll talk to you next time. It's like, will I still be here next time? I'd like to know, how long do I have after this treatment? It's like, what the fuck? And it is so funny because I've talked about this before. Like, my teeth were really shitty when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe it was the sugar, maybe I didn't brush right, I don't know. But I would have to get constant fluoride treatments. Like, it's probably what's wrong with me. I had too much fluoride. It ate my fucking brain away. It wasn't the brain injury. The brain injury just triggered the friggin' Swiss cheese brain from the fluoride. But yeah, the poisons and stuff. I saw another one too where a guy was like, yeah, everybody now is, well, not everybody, but a lot of people now are starting to read, because I see a lot of men doing it, reading the ingredients on packages. And this one, he was feeding his kid breakfast, starts reading the Lucky Charms or something, and he was like, what the hell? It's like same thing, some sort of toxin, a weed killer or something is like the first ingredient in the Lucky Charms. These guys are like, oh my God. Oh, and then I saw somebody after that was talking about the whole reason they even started with the slogan, breakfast is the most important most important meal of the day. That slogan was the cereal companies. That was their slogan, to get us to eat fucking more cereal. It's got more toxins, but it's not good for you at all. So why the hell is that? It was the most important meal of the day. Why the fuck are we eating just junk? You know, it's not helping us. We're eating a bunch of poison. Start your day out. Get your first dose of poison in the morning and get going on your day. It's like, oh my God. We all are like, you know, we're all like these battered kind of avatars, like these old jalopies just going, just trying to get through. We're almost there. We're almost across the finish line. We will get there. And because I know that once the stuff comes out more and the technology is released and we get to start freaking heading up and lining in those med beds and get these fucking toxins taken out of us, it's going to be like, I won't even know how to live not having pain in my body. It'll be like, oh, what does life feel like to not have pain in your body all the time? And like, I try and do detoxes and stuff like that, but like I said, I've got 60 years of buildup of these poison, like fucking fluoride treatments and shit. So I wasn't ever really a cereal eater, but I did fucking buy a lot of cereal for my kids. But I didn't like milk, so I was never a cereal eater. But, you know, like, we grew up on, we were the first generation who, they decided artificial food or packaged food, and they called it astronaut food because the astronauts just went to space, and you can eat astronaut food too. And it was just a bunch of bullshit, you know. It's when they started putting snacks in packages. You know, before it was like, go get an apple, go get an orange. You know, go eat a sandwich or something. Now it's like, go open a package and pull out some kind of chemical created lab food. See how that does for you. But anyways, you know, it is all about, you know, it is up to us to get our emotions in check. It's up to us to keep ourselves in check. And, you know, when you start feeling yourself get down, you know, start picturing like, oh, what am I pulling in these gross, like, who knows what the fuck they'd look like if they were in true form, or if they were in any kind of form. Like, I guess you can manifest in your head like whatever you think they look like. I think they look kind of gross. They look like hungry beast feeding off my energy. So yeah, I'd rather just try and be happy all the time, because that's not the energy, you know. If there's beings that feed off of the happiness, those would be the ones you would want to feed, because those would be the ones who would be sending you love back. You know, there would be a sharing of love. If you're sending out the happiness, it is the depression, the sadness, the anxiety and stuff. That's where, you know, they're licking their chompers for getting in on that action. And I don't think even, you know, in light being world, I don't think I would come down here and live off other people's energy. I think I'd rather just go fly around or dance or something like that. Like, that still is like parasitic. You're living off of something else's energy. You know, but that's why I think a lot of things are going to be changing about the way we eat and stuff. There's a lot of things that are coming that are going to be changing in our world. So much is going to be changing. And so, and it is important to just keep opening your mind, because everything in this world has been so artificial and has been, you know, like a trick. Like, it has been, we've been in their metaverse. They're just now naming it and telling us to put on the glasses, but we've been in their fake weird world this whole time. And, you know, it's so funny too how right now, because it is like a movie, and you've got certain people who have already been, and they have people standing in to play their part because they were so bad they couldn't even be here anymore on the planet. They had to do them in. But you have people who are the stand-in, you know. Oh, I do want to say, but anyways, on the one with that, because the foul fuck, I saw one the other day, and somebody was going up, and he was on the news or something. And they kept going up and looking at his neck, and you could plainly see it was a mask. It wasn't even him. It was a mask, and you could see where it wasn't even attached to his friggin'. It was a bad job. Like, if you're gonna put on a mask and put on a suit and stuff, like, put your suit up over the mask part or something. But yeah, you could see the mask moving. But you know, they're doing all that stuff to just get people to be like, what the hell, you know, to start paying attention and be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but they do have all these people who are, you know, playing this fake part. Oh, my daughter was just telling me, like, there was some sort of Adele concert the other day. And you know what? Because all of these different things keep coming out about the clones, because I think that there really is. Like, there's something going on with the cloning. There's no way that this many actors and stuff look the same, and that they just happen to get famous. But this, so it's just kind of coincidental that all the way back, you know, when Adele first started, and she was, you know, she seemed like regular. She, you know, she was regular sized or whatever, you know, and she had a beautiful voice and stuff, and she just seemed more different. And then, you know, it's when they decide they can market you, they can make money off of you, and they somehow get your DNA and stuff. And then I think they go fucking make another one of you, and then they do you in. I think that's what they did to Chappelle. And if you go in and you listen to the stuff his cousin said, because that's the first time I really started hearing the story, was the Chappelle one. And I heard that a few years ago, and I was like, fuck. And I started paying attention, and I started seeing, like, Kevin Hart comes out and says, like, oh yeah, that's my clone that does that, you know, like, some of these people talk openly about it, but, you know, we're just like, yeah, right, he's joking. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Yeah, well, we just think that technology hasn't advanced because they don't tell us, but it really is far advanced. But, so, you know, like, if you watch Chappelle, like, one thing is that a lot of people, because I saw other people who were talking about the Chappelle thing too, and they were saying he's just not the same, he's not funny anymore and stuff like that. So they can make him look kind of similar, because even the Will Smith one, that does not look like Will Smith. And I just saw one that supposedly is Kelly Osbourne. I don't know. These people just completely changing their whole faces with surgery and just not telling anyone or something. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. And then, but so then you know, the huge weight loss thing, and then the voicing, couldn't sing anymore. Now she's gave, like, oh, she's just doing this one concert because her voice, you know. And think about this, because in music industry, once they have these people's voice imprinted, they can just do it all on that. They don't need the person anymore. You know, they only need the person as, like, the merch. So once they have a voice, they can just put out records, you know. And but this concert was all elites and aristocrats. So everything they're doing is for a reason right now. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of humiliating things, and a lot of exposing things. Like, I can't even believe how many CEOs and stuff have stepped down now. I've tried to go back on Twitter again. It's still not letting me. So I'm sure is gonna start, because I saw where Facebook, Twitter, and a few different ones, and I keep getting terms of whatever, like TikTok and YouTube. I keep getting terms sent that I have to redo, and I think it is because something's going on. I think that the people who have been doing the censoring and controlling our information are all being taken down. And the more and more that the censorship is lifted, and the more we all begin to communicate, it's gonna really change things. When they lift censorship, fuck, there's gonna be like some fucking truth bombs going crazy. So anyways, I think that we're close to that. I mean, with all of these CEOs stepping down and stuff, and the defendants list on the island trials, whoa, yeah, this is going to be some crazy stuff. And here, you know, we just finished with the floods, and now the snowstorm's coming. I've got a fucking whole snowstorm coming. It's like, oh my God. Out here, yeah, we're being hit hard with the weather, and no illumination disc or sun for, I don't even know when. Let's see, I saw it the other day in town, and that was the first time I'd seen it in a couple of weeks or days or something. I don't know. I've lost track of time. And that's another thing. Time is so weird. It's like we only have a few hours of daylight here, and it's so rushed that goes by so fast. And in the night, it seems so long. It's so long, dark. And I can't believe how many times I get up in the middle of the night. I'll get up, it'll be like 1, get up, it'll be like 3, get up, it'll be like 5. And it's like, what the fuck? Is this the longest night of the world? Like, is this night ever gonna end? So anyways, yeah, just, you know, things are changing, things are moving, you know, and just keep working on you and, you know, facing the dark sides of yourself. That's how you heal it. Is just face it and accept it, you know. You're not perfect. You're definitely the devil in someone's life, and you're the angel in someone else's. So, you know, it's good to be all parts. I mean, you don't want to be the devil in everybody's life. That, oof, you got some issues, you got some stuff you got to work on. So, but you know, it's still hard to face, because we all want to think of ourselves as being better than we are, and we all want to be the best that we can be. And sometimes it's hard to be the best you can be when you can't even see your whole self. And you have to see yourself, you know, by seeing all, you know, your whole self. We just want to see the good side. So the more you look at the bad side, the more that you grow and change. So anyways, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.